Welcome to the Believe and Achieve podcast with Lyndon Longhorn and Jay Manners. You will learn many hints and tips throughout this program. It will be a process which will be ongoing and will inspire you throughout your career. Let's go. Welcome back to the Believe and Achieve podcast with your host Lyndon Longhorn and Jay Manners. Say hello, Jay.
Hello, welcome back.
It's crazy to think that the last one was back in July and now, we're in October now. Where has the summer gone? It's just flew by, to be honest with you.
I know it really has, so you might have to bear with us at the moment because we might be a little bit rusty.
Just a little bit, but I think by the time we get a few episodes into this one and get into the next one, it'll start and feel like normal again. So we're looking forward to this one. Season 2 has been a lot happening over the summer. Obviously Jay's been having a break from swimming and just been enjoying life a bit.
Yeah, well, like I mentioned in the last episode as well, we had a summer festival meet that was organised by Swim England, so the different counties got together and raced against within your own county club. It was a bit of like a local competition, but it was nice to race other people other than people within your own club. We, as a club, done really, really well. We got a lot of top 3 finishes at that meet. I know myself, I had a breakout swim in the 200 fly. And of course, with Lyndon, he's been out in Tokyo.
It's been a pretty crazy time over the summer, from everything hitting us on June the 30th to then getting everything prepared, whether it was with work or whether it was sorting out a new training program for being out in Tokyo or just easing off. There's been a lot of things going on. Obviously I'm not going to cover too much in this one, but it is a bit of we have got an episode lined up where we will be able to chat about Tokyo, about my experiences and things like that. And then obviously the build up now is the next 3 years, see what happens ready for Paris. So
3 years away just doesn't seem that long away.
Absolutely. You think when Rio turned around and it was in 2016 and now we're in 2021, I know we've had a pandemic and everything's flew by, and I feel like where on earth is the last few months gone? I feel like we've lost 7 months to get, and then we've had August, September, October, and it's crazy, absolutely crazy the way time's gone.
I know it's hard to believe that we're coming to the end of 2021 now, and as we said, this is the start of a new season for our podcast, and we just starting the new season of swimming, and also big changes have happened. I know for myself, I've started university now.
Wait there. That's going from saying I will never ever start uni, never want to go to uni, anything like that, to now going, oh, just to let you know, I'm going to uni. What?
Yeah, that decision was sort of made this year, just before I think it was around about April, May time. That's where my decision changed of I want to go to university for the career path that I want to go down, and I'm really excited to get up and going with it.
Yeah, I think as well, obviously from when we were chatting about it, and obviously saying you wanted to go to uni and things, and I think it was also help from coaches as well. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't have made this decision if it wasn't the chat I had with my coach about it. Luckily, I went and done the research about it, and I found that there was a distance learning course which will help fit around my swimming and also other commitments outside of the pool. So it works out really, really well for us. And I end up getting a scholarship with the university. The university I'm at is Manchester Met. And just exciting to be a student again. It's been so long.
It's crazy. I look back when I was in uni, and it time flies. And yes, I did 4 years at uni because I went to move to Salford first, and then moved up to Northumbria the year after, and then 3 more years.
Oh, I didn't know you went to Salford.
Yeah, I went to Salford University for a year. So went to Salford Uni, trained down there. So I lived in the city centre of Manchester for a year as well, trained and studied. So obviously I was full time. So the difference is you're in uni a lot. Now, I know a lot of people, when you're in uni full time, it's quite different because you think, oh, I'm going to be in 9 till 5 or something like that, but you're actually not. It's
Yeah.
really, really weird. And I think a lot of it is because like you self-studying and you go to the library researching and things like that. Yes, first year I found, I know some people might agree, some people might not, but first year you can kind of like get away with it a bit.
Yeah.
And it's like the second and the third year where everything starts to become more serious. But if you take it serious from the start, you'll be absolutely fine. But I know you'll smash it. I know you'll smash books as well when that comes round. So
Yeah, I'm
yeah, we've
excited for
got
that
that.
one actually. It's a completely new competition for me to go to. Really looking forward to it. I know I've watched books go on YouTube and stuff like that when it's been happening, and it does look like it's a really fast competition. So looking forward to getting into that.
I think the thing is as well, when we did books with Northumbria, it was kind of weird because you know how when you go to a gallery, like say you're going to Sunderland or you're going to Sheffield or something like that, when you're doing a 25-meter race, or like in a 25-meter pool, sorry, not a 25-meter race, we don't do that anymore, guys. Sorry about that. When you're doing in a
Unfortunately.
25, I know, living life if you're doing a 25-meter sprint. When you're going through that phase of you go to a short course competition, you don't realise it, but books have it split. When we were at Sheffield, so you have it like male will be doing their race, and then female will go and do their race like next to each other with the boom in the middle, and it's like, whoa, you're not
Yeah.
expecting it. And I think because you're that used to going to short course competitions, you're like, oh, we'll have the male first, and then the female will follow, or vice versa.
Yeah.
And this is just like you're both going at the same time, so you've got to be like, whoa,
It's
who's
very
racing
fast
now? Type of
paced.
thing. Absolutely, don't get me wrong, the competition goes quick. Like when we did it, I thought it flew by, but it's a great experience. And I know if you're doing like a lot of races, it kind of tends to be like back to back to back.
Yeah.
So it can be, it is fast paced, and it is a good one to get your teeth stuck into and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's competition. And I think with the past year, what we've had, I think anyone will give anything just to go and compete right now, to be
I
honest with you.
know.
So
I know. Well, as a club, we're competing next week. I know you've just getting back in the pool this week.
yeah.
But we're competing in a local competition next week, and I've got 10 races lined up that weekend. So might do a podcast on how that went.
It's
Dealing with
almost as
10
bad as my
races.
event. It's almost as bad as my events at games, like
I
doing as
know.
many as it. So, but we'll not say anything more about that at the minute. We'll have a bit of a discussion around it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So yeah, this podcast episode is mainly like an introduction of like to the new season. Like Lyndon said, we've got a lot of exciting things planned up, and you'll just have to wait and see what's going to come ahead.
obviously it'll be a spoiler if we're to give it away now. Like we might give hints along the way, like we did last season, where we're putting it on our stories and stuff. But yeah, I'm not saying anything more, to be honest.
No.
Yeah. Otherwise, it'll just dig myself a hole, and I'll be like, oh, what have I done? Like, just leave it. To be fair.
Well, I've already given you a little bit of a hint of what one episode is going to be.
Yeah.
It's obviously your experience in Tokyo, but I think that's pretty much like expected, anyways, because we would love to like share your experiences out there and see what was
Yeah.
like and hear like from the horse's mouth, really.
Yeah, definitely. And I think as well, like it'll be good to get obviously a point of view from yourself with university, because I know obviously you said like I've already mentioned you didn't want to go to university, but now you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to uni. And yes, you're at Manchester Met and you're doing distance learning, but I think for a lot of people out there as well, it might be good to get an insight to say whether people do it full time, whether they do it part time, or whether they do distance learning. At least then, like it gives them an insight to say this is probably what I would recommend. If you are doing the amount of training what you're doing, so say for example you're doing like morning and night, and you're up at the crack of dawn like we are, and getting up and going train at 5:30, it might be a good idea to consider distance learning. But
Yeah,
we'll cover all that. And I think as well, I can give it from a full-time athlete and full-time student type of thing, and
yeah.
then obviously you can compare it to distance learning. At least then we can kind of open up about it.
Yeah, I think that'll be a good one lined up as well. We sort of mentioned about it in the last season about scheduling and having like a sort of like a student athlete balance, but like I think we will dedicate an episode with the student athlete balance, as like
Yeah.
you've been through it and I'm currently going to go through it now with university. So
Yeah,
I think that would be a great insight for people who are listening.
definitely. I think it's important as well. Like, yes, I know we've got like I did it full time, and it was tough. I'm not gonna lie, it was a hard regime to get yourself into. You're doing distance learning, which I know you said the credits are working out differently over the next few years, but obviously we'll mention that in the next one when it comes along. And then obviously it kind of I feel like it can kind of work out a bit like part time, but obviously we'll give you an insight, and obviously when you're working full time as well as trying to study full time or things like that, it will kind of give you another insight to say this is probably the best way or what we recommend to do. But yeah, we'll cover all that along as we go.
100%. Is there anything else you want to touch upon?
Not really. I feel like this like opening podcast is kind of just an insight to say like welcome back. Just to say that we are still here. We've not kind of just gone, yeah, we've done season 1 and then gone, see you later. Because I know a lot of people might have thought that, but that's not what we intend to do. Yes, I know we've had a lot of things on over the summer, and that's why we couldn't really get everything correct and get everything put in place to say like, oh, we'll do a podcast now and we'll get it out. I think as well with me being away, having the 8-hour time difference, that's where it kind of clashed a little bit. And obviously with the build up and trying not to be distracted. But yeah, just like a welcome back. Obviously we hope you stay tuned right the way throughout season 2. If you haven't already, check out season 1. All the episodes will be in the link below. And we'll put them all in the comments box as well. So yeah, it's nice to be back.
I know, definitely. And just to second on what you just said there is also a massive thank you for those that have listened through season 1.
Yeah.
And also thank you for keeping up to date of Lyndon's journey in Tokyo. I know we've been sharing on social media how he's been getting on, and the feedback's been absolutely amazing. And like the awareness the podcast page has gotten on Instagram and Twitter is really overwhelming. As well as covering Lyndon's journey in Tokyo, we're also covering a lot of ISL recently. We've been sharing Instagram stories of how each individual team has been doing on each day in different matches, and we'll certainly continue that through the playoffs and also for the final, which I believe is taking place in December or January for the final, and then the playoffs are starting again in November.
But yeah, or if anyone wants to see what happened with ISL, all the highlights are put in our stories on Instagram, where we've got like individual categories set up. So feel free to check them out. It's not. I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not just going back from this one. It goes back to the previous one. Am I right?
Yeah, so we had obviously Jill Elliott and Molly Renshaw in season 1 who have just competed at the ISL this year. Unfortunately, the New York Breakers didn't make it through to the playoffs, but you'll still, if you want to hear the ISL experience from Molly, you're more than welcome to from season 1. And Jill Elliott is a part of the Toronto Titans, who I thought had a great regular season this year, and I think they're in contenders of making the final.
Yeah, I feel like this year is a bit more open. I think with the draft that happened and everyone wanting to keep so many swimmers involved, and I think it was good where you weren't just keeping the same team, and it wasn't just like Cali Condors going, oh, we'll keep all of ours who we had, or London Raw or something doing the exact same thing. It's been kind of open arms this year, and I think the improvements, especially from Trident, like, has been phenomenal for what they've done. Like, it's just been incredible. Like, you're seeing every single team make that breakthrough into the ISL. Yes, you're seeing like the Olympic stars and things like that getting into it as well, which is great. And I think it is a new way for people to get involved. Yes, obviously, I feel like there are qualification times to hit, but at the same time, as long as you carry on training the way you're going and stick to the regimes what you've got, there's no reason why you couldn't be part of ISL at later today or something like that. So
definitely, yeah. And I think ISL is like growing with every single year. Like you said about DC and also Aqua, they had their first ever wins in ISL, so that was exciting to see. But yeah, I think this season we're definitely going to cover more of ISL, as like it is an up and coming. Well, it's the future of swimming, really, isn't it? And we'll cover more episodes on that. But yeah, that's all we're going to give you for this first episode. And stay tuned of what we're going to announce or what episodes we've got lined up coming in this season as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, like if you want to keep up to date with everything that goes on, obviously all the links to the socials will be in the box below, and so feel free to check all those out. And we'll constantly post updates of when like new podcasts are coming, if we've got special guests or things like that. But yeah, obviously it's nice to be back, and we'll see you again very soon.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. We hope that you enjoyed, and we are so excited to bring brand new content to this. So make sure you check out our socials to stay up to date of when we'll be posting next. Until the next one, take care, and remember, believe and achieve.